A man decides to eat healthy. Good for him. Really, admirable decision. He's on a fishing vessel in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. Fresh air, physical work, and every single day, fresh tuna. Caught that morning, as organic as it gets. 0 food miles. Farm to table. Except the farm is an ocean and the table is a boat. Twice a day. Every day. For a year. His legs stopped working 6 months in. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. Our fisherman is 48, 15 years at sea. Professional, experienced. In February 2015, he boards a tuna fishing vessel for what will be a year-long voyage. A new chef joins the crew. Now, this chef looks around at his situation. He is surrounded by literally thousands of tons of fresh tuna. The vessel exists specifically to catch tuna. The freezers are full of tuna. The ocean outside is full of tuna. His menu writes itself: tuna for lunch, tuna for dinner, over 500 grams per day. Fresh, well prepared, nutritious. Our fisherman is delighted. He's eating like a king. Protein, omega-3 fatty acids, vitamin D, selenium. Every health article he has ever half read tells him fish is good for him. The health articles are correct. Technically, they just assumed he would eat a normal amount of fish, like a normal person. Doctors examine him. Tingling legs, worse at night, worse with fatigue, right side dominant, classic presentation of a herniated disc, the cushioning between spinal vertebrae pressing on a nerve root. Very straightforward, very obvious. MRI ordered, completely normal spine. Nerve conduction tests then, measuring the speed of electrical signals through the peripheral nerves, mostly normal. One subtle abnormality in 2 nerves of the right leg, barely worth mentioning, certainly not enough to explain the severity of his symptoms. 2 months of specialist treatment across neurosurgery and rehabilitation. No diagnosis, no improvement. The medical team is running out of ideas. Then, finally, someone asks the question that perhaps, in retrospect, could have been asked somewhat earlier. Sir, what do you eat when you're at sea? He tells them about the tuna. There is a pause. Here is the thing about tuna that the chef did not mention at any point during the year of twice daily tuna service. Tuna accumulates mercury, not because tuna is trying to hurt anyone, because of basic ocean biology that has been understood for decades and is printed clearly on FDA guidance documents that theoretically exist for exactly this reason. Mercury enters the ocean through industrial pollution. A century of coal-fired power stations, factories, and mining operations releasing mercury into the atmosphere, which settles into ocean water and sediment. Bacteria in that sediment convert inorganic mercury into methylmercury, the organic form. Tiny organisms absorb it. Small fish eat those organisms. Bigger fish eat those fish. Every step up the food chain, the mercury concentrates further. This is biomagnification. Tuna are large, old, fast. They sit near the very top of the ocean food chain. A single albacore or yellowfin has spent years eating smaller fish that spent their own years accumulating mercury from everything below them. By the time that tuna is on a plate, it carries the concentrated mercury burden of an entire food web. Our fisherman was consuming over 175 micrograms of mercury per day. The World Health Organization's safe limit for a man his size, approximately 150 micrograms, just a touch over. Every single day, for 12 months, completely fine, one might assume. One would be wrong. Methylmercury has one characteristic that makes it particularly good at causing neurological damage. It loves fat, dissolves in it, seeks it out. The brain is approximately 60% fat. So methylmercury, absorbed almost completely through the gut, 95% of every microgram swallowed goes straight into the bloodstream, distributes through the body, and then heads directly for neural tissue. And it crosses the blood-brain barrier, the protective membrane specifically designed to keep toxic substances out of the central nervous system. Methylmercury does not care about the blood-brain barrier. It passes through it as though it is not there. Once inside neurons, the cells that carry every signal in the brain and peripheral nervous system, it binds to the protein machinery and quietly breaks things. The enzymes that maintain the cell deactivated. The internal scaffolding that keeps the nerve fiber intact dismantled. The energy production inside the cell disrupted. The peripheral nerves in the legs begin to malfunction. Pain signals fire without cause. Touch becomes distorted. in higher doses. Tunnel vision, hearing loss, difficulty walking, cognitive impairment, permanent brain damage. In the most severe cases, death. His blood mercury, when tested 2 months after his last tuna meal, after 2 months of the mercury slowly clearing, was 21.79 micrograms per liter. Normal, under 10. Working backwards from the known half-life of methylmercury in blood, the doctors calculated what his levels must have been while he was still at sea, eating tuna twice a day, between 38 and 53 micrograms per liter, nearly 5 times the upper limit of normal, sustained for a year. The freshest, most expensive, most nutritious protein on the entire vessel had been systematically dismantling his nervous system 1 meal at a time, in complete silence, with no taste, no smell, no color, and no warning. For serious mercury poisoning, the standard treatment is chelation therapy, a drug, they consider DMPS, that circulates through the blood, binds to mercury molecules, and removes them through the kidneys. Medical, dramatic intervention. The doctors reviewed his case carefully. They told him to stop eating tuna. That was it. No chelation, no admission, no procedure. Because by the time of diagnosis, his exposure had already stopped. The mercury was already clearing on its own, and his symptoms were already slowly improving. The risk-benefit calculation for chelation simply did not favor it. The prescription: no tuna, eat vegetables, do some aerobic exercise. 4 months later, blood mercury down to 14.18. Symptoms almost completely resolved. A year of progressive neurological poisoning from one of the WHO's top 10 global public health chemical threats. Cured by salad. He was not brought down by the sea. He was not brought down by the job. He was not brought down by any of the genuine hazards that come with 15 years of deep-sea commercial fishing. He was brought down by the chef's menu. The mercury had no taste, no smell, no color. It accumulated in his nervous system for a year in complete silence while he piloted a 45-ton skiff across the Pacific and told himself the tingling in his legs would probably sort itself out. His blood contained nearly 5 times the safe level of one of the most neurotoxic substances known to science. Nobody thought to test for it for 2 months. Nobody thought to ask what he was eating for 2 months. The FDA guidance on mercury in commercial fish exists. The WHO limits exist. The biomagnification data has been published for decades. The warnings for pregnant women, for children, for people who eat large quantities of fish, all of it exists, in print available to anyone. The new chef was apparently not given the reading list.